The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Nice to have you with me here on The Doctor Is In.
You have always been a voice of reason through all of this.
Appreciate your time, what you're doing for America.
I give you advice, and it doesn't work at all.
You are definitely not inept by any means.
I like to hear women say that about me.
Whatever advice you're going to send my way, I am 100% taking it.
I can't tell you what to do. I will not tell you what to do.
Okay. Well, thanks.
That wasn't the answer I wanted.
Are you kidding me?
Great stuff, Dr. Red. Glad I called.
I've scheduled my day around listening to your radio show.
Don't have to laugh so hard.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
It's official. I am the only host in all of Catholic media that can take days off your purgatory, because I can be so irritating to listen to. And there are times when more days are taken off with a sentence or two than a whole segment. Now, you have to keep listening, and there's probably a certain amount of irritation that is necessary. Not outright hostility, just agitation, discomfort. And if you're saying, well, I don't like it, but okay, I'll be supportive, that we don't know how that exactly translates into what's taken off your purgatory time, because there's no time in eternity after death, but we'll just kind of say that there is some lessening of your purgatorial examination, fire, whatever we might call it. Nice, very nice to have you here. Program is The Doctor Is In. You're not really here. You could be anywhere, but it's delightful to have you listening to however much you do, whether it's a couple of minutes because you're in your car, whether you have just kind of shot through your radio selections, you put it on Seek, and it stopped right here. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Program is The Doctor Is In. I'm a psychologist. What kind? There's all kinds of psychologists. Clinical psychologists. These are the folks who have been, if you want to say trained, I don't know if I like that word, educated maybe in therapy or in assessment of various types, diagnoses. But the interesting thing about all that is that any psychologist will tell you with any amount of experience that what they learned in graduate school and their PhD is a minuscule fraction of what they bring to the table or to the office or to the couch in their practice. And that's true for me. Over the years of reading, listening, experience with many people, so much of what I've learned, I did not learn in school. I learned it on the pavement, if you will, the clinical pavement. Now, on this program, I don't diagnose, I don't do therapy, I don't step on any therapist's turf, I don't intrude on anything they've said if you're seeing somebody. We can educate, give you a few thoughts, a few ideas, something to ponder, something to throw in your basket of options. Now, an easy way to do that, very simple, the number, 877-573-7825. Notice how I said that? The number, and then I just gave it. I didn't say, the number is. Why? Because guys don't generally use verbs if we don't have to. When I used to call the fellas, I finally quit coaching softball after many, many decades. And I used to call the guys. In the conversations, when you had 12, 13 guys you had to call, this was before any kind of social media, you wanted to get in, get out, get to the field. So I'd say, Ronnie, practice. Mason, 3:30. See ya. That's it. Not a verb in the whole conversation. Verbs take up space. Do that a lot here on the program, I've noticed. Doctor Is In. Number, 877-573-7825. Delighted to hear from you. Delighted to hear. No, that's an infinitive phrase. Okay, why would you call? That's up to you. Most people call because of situations or circumstances or people in their lives, something that is befuddling them, frustrating them. Sometimes people call to say, I listened to that previous caller. I think I can add this to it because, Dr. A, you missed it. Or they'll call to say, this is my experience. What do you think? Yes, I think it was yesterday he called. He was talking about the playing around, and if that's what you want to call it, it's dangerous flirtation, if you will, of the demonic world, evil and nastiness and macabre. I go through these local box stores. Oh my, huge sections of just ugly, evil, horrific, nasty images. Now one can say, "Oh, come on, that's just kind of playful stuff." Yeah, okay. But correct me if I'm wrong, and you won't. There is just a certain preoccupation with it that is just everywhere. Everywhere. And to see that stuff right next to the Christmas stuff. You know, Christmas used to start after Halloween. No, not even after Halloween. It used to start after Thanksgiving. Well, now we got Halloween bumping into Thanksgiving, bumping into Christmas. Pretty soon it's going to be bumping into Groundhog Day. Great movie, by the way. Great movie. 877-573-7825. I'm going to have to dispense with my opening monologue. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. We're going to have a live show tomorrow. Tomorrow's Look Back Friday typically, but we're going to do a live show because a lot of times some people can only tune in or call on days where we have ePerson Monday and Look Back Friday where we don't take live calls. So tomorrow will be live. Today is live, understandably. Now, the monologue I was going to do is, I think, a great, great logic problem with the Bible if you're not Catholic. And that particular piece, my son who handles my Instagram and Facebook page, put that up there. And it received many, many hundreds of thousands of views. And I think it's because it touched into something where folks said, I never looked at it that way. I never thought about that. Now, of course, there were those people who said, you're an idiot, whoever you are, Roy Ganuti. But in fact, by and large, it went viral several times. I'll do that one in the future. Right now I'm going to do this one. It's much more brief, then I can get to your calls. If I were to someone who maybe particularly was not Catholic, someone who said things like, well, you've had bad popes. You've had popes that have had mistresses, or you've had popes that have been rapscallions. And there have been a handful of those, but the interesting thing is that no doctrine was ever changed. But that's aside. If I were to say, what if we had a pope who said, in public, adamantly, no doubt, as a matter of fact, repeated himself, I now believe that Jesus is not God. I now believe that I really want to have no association with him. I don't even know him. Would that be enough for you to look at the Catholic Church and declare it invalid? Talk about confused popes, huh? And I'm talking also to you who in many respects are too quick to second guess the popes. Yes, there may be things they do that confuse you and you don't understand, but our church is still our church. And Christianity stayed Christianity when this pope did that. Do you know who he was? Which one was it? Was it during the Borgia regime there? Was it Middle Ages? No, was it? I think it was when we had two different claimants to the papacy. Yeah, back the Leon papacy. No. Which one? Which pope was it? Oh, I know which one. His name was Peter. Peter the First. You might know him. St. Peter in the Gospels. I don't know the man. You're wrong. I do not know the man. I swear an oath, I do not know the man. The very first pope, the very first chief shepherd of the church, put in place by Jesus himself, said, no, I'm rethinking this here. I'm rethinking this. Now, he came around, obviously. And what he said was under duress. He was fearful. He was scared. But nevertheless, there was a moment, there was a time when he publicly declared himself not a Christian. So be really careful when you say that the Catholic Church has faltered or broken its line of authority because there were men who were the prime shepherds of the church who said or did things that were less than honorable. So remember that. Our very first pope, under pressure, said, I'm not real sure about this whole Jesus thing. 877-573-7825. 877-57 That is the number to call. Love to talk to you. And old Ellie there, she had a great question, but she called and hung up immediately. Don't know why that was. Immediate Ellie. This is Dr. Ray. Thanks for joining me.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com. We are the pro-life generation, passionate about building the culture of life in our healthcare and in our nation. But not all healthcare options are equally pro-life, and some provide morally objectionable procedures. CMF Curo is different. CMF Curo is a pro-life Catholic healthcare ministry providing a pathway for its members to build the culture of life in their healthcare choices, not destroy it. Learn more about CMF Curo at mycatholichealthcare.com. That's mycatholichealthcare.com.
Hello, Steve Ray here from Footprints of God Pilgrimages. The land of our Lord and Our Lady is calling us. We're heading back to the Holy Land over Christmas break this year. We have the best, most reliable guides and services awaiting us. The holy sites are open, and the local Christians are anxious to see us. Galilee, Jerusalem, Nazareth, Bethlehem. No crowds, no lines. Hope you can join us.
Find the Ave Maria Radio travel tab at AveMariaRadio.net.
This program brought to you in part by Ave Maria, Florida, a big kind of small town where golf carts take you everywhere and there's always something fun around the corner. Discover championship golf, resort-style amenities, and a town center full of shopping and dining. With Ave Maria University and Ave Maria Catholic Church at its heart, it's a community full of connection and charm. More than 25 model homes are available for viewing. More information can be found at AveMaria.com. That's AveMaria.com.
Doctor is embarking upon its pre-holiday fitness program for dealing with difficult relatives who live 9 states away and are coming into town. Your opinionated cousin that you see once a year, once every 2 years, and even that for you is too much to take, but she's going to be in town. And you're going to find out just how much she doesn't like the way you look at things. Renee from Texas is calling. Hi, Renee.
Hey, how are you, Dr. Ray?
Doing good, thank you.
Good. Good to talk with you. Thank you.
Well, now that we're both doing good, I'm just going to hang up then.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'll see you the next life.
All right. Thank you, dear. What's going on in your home?
Okay. So I married a man in a Catholic family. Okay. My youngest sister-in-law converted to Islam because her boyfriend. And now we're all grown up. She lives in Turkey. She has 6 kids. My mother-in-law was on her deathbed, and so she came along with her oldest son, Abdullah, who is 18 and is now, I don't want to say married, but I don't understand the whole matter. It doesn't matter. My problem is, so my question is, how can I talk to them? We don't know all the rules and regulations about Islam, the do's, the don'ts, the hugs, the no hugs. I know I was looking up, it's called Maram or something, but our family, our local family here is having trouble figuring it out. And I just wanted, how would we go about asking them, okay, what is okay and what's not okay? In a way, I think that's not right because, I am his aunt by marriage, not by blood.
Is he living with you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No. They live in Turkey, but they're just here because my mother-in-law passed.
Okay, so they're here for a week or two?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you need to know?
I'll put it this way. So my girls have seen him so we've only seen him like twice in their age at all because they moved away, Malaysia and then Turkey. So they don't get around very often, and we are not we don't understand the Islam culture very much, obviously. So, for example, my daughter arrives to greet everyone because we're all gathered, right? And he's immediately like, "Oh, no hugs, no hugs." And apparently this is because she and my other daughters are of marrying age, even though he's already married. And then I'm not blood, but I'm his aunt.
Did your daughter, when he said that, did your daughter go, "Oh, okay"?
Yeah, basically she's like,
there you go. You handled it.
Okay.
He's only going to be with you a week, and I think the danger is to make too much out of all the cultural differences. Oh, if you want to ask him, if you want to say, is there anything we need to know?
Okay.
As American Christians, or as Christians who are American, anything we need to know where we should be very careful we don't want to be inappropriate for your religion. That's what I'd do. You tell us.
I get that. I just wish that they would also be kind of somewhat accommodating too.
Well,
that's what we do, you know?
You wish there's the difference, see. You have the ability to do that. You don't have the ability to make them do that.
Yeah.
There's the difference. If you're saying, okay, you have cultural, religious conditions that we know nothing about, and we could, in fact, step on them ignorantly. So is there anything here that we need to know? Just tell us. We want to respect it. Okay. On the other hand, he's probably not going to do that with you. He's not going to say, well, if you want to say blessings at mealtime, just let me know and I will be respectful. Although I would imagine he would be. I would imagine he would probably just silently just listen.
Yeah, he's been more respectful with me than my daughters, yes, for sure. Okay. Even though I'm not blood.
and I think also it's possible that, he's 18 and your daughters are, well, if they're attractive young girls.
22.
Oh, I'm sorry, 22. I don't know where I got 18 here. But your daughters are probably attractive young women, so therefore there's certain parts of Islam that are very, very, very careful about the fraternizing with the other sex. So I would imagine that would be probably that's probably the most sensitive aspect of this whole circumstance.
I guess, yeah.
Sure, no big deal. It's only a week, And here's the thing too, Renee. Even if you blow it, even if you did a little faux pas, you can't be expected to know everything. And so you say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know."
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you don't even.
It does.
You don't even have to necessarily say, "I'm sorry." You didn't do anything wrong. You can just say, "Oh, okay."
I didn't know. Yes, because they don't. And so they do something and it's like, oh,
sure.
And okay.
Yeah. I would not let it stress me one bit.
Okay. It's just we love them. I mean, we love them as a family.
And that's good. And as long as they know you're open to respecting them, they can't expect you to understand whatever social cultural differences there are, because that varies across the Islamic faith. You know that.
Right.
And I want to tell you, I'm a perfect example of tolerance and kindness and understanding, because during this phone call, you said about 8 things that culturally offended me, and I didn't say a thing about them. That's right. I was providing an example for you.
Yeah.
See that?
I get it.
You believe that? I'll sell you a bridge in Brooklyn.
Hey, Father. Sorry. I just ordained you. Hey.
Yeah, that was easy.
All right, Dr. Ray.
Renee,
I love you. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Just one thing. Next time you call, put the compliments at the front. Don't wait until the whole call and then be complimentary.
Okay,
like that.
then.
Yeah, that's a new rule we have.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, dear. Bye.
All right.
My son shared with me. It was an Instagram he put up, and it was some comment about the church and the logic behind the church, etc. And one of the comments was, my son thought it was great. We don't really respond to the comments. There's too many of them. But and by the way, talk about insulting stuff. One of the comments was, "Worry less about your hair and read the Bible." Well, I don't know how he thought I was worried about my hair, and I don't know how he thought I didn't read the Bible. And I wanted to say, and I don't, because you can get into real dead-end clashes. I wanted to say, well, being a Catholic, I've kind of been through the Bible. Let's see, my age, how many times I've gone to Mass. Probably at least 25 times through the majority of the Bible, because I go to Mass. And every 3 years, we go through another cycle of the Bible. So you Catholics, if somebody asks you, "Do you need to read the Bible?" You say, "Well, I've been through it. Let's see, approximately. Let's say you're 50 years old, and you've been going to Mass and paying attention since you were about 6. 44 years divided by 3, 13, 14, almost 15 times. You've been through huge parts of the Old Testament and nearly all of the New Testament." You just tell them, "Yeah, I've read the Bible 15 times. What? I didn't know Catholics read the Bible. Well, yeah, we have multiple scripture readings at Sunday Mass. Oh. Just another classic example of people having opinions when they are very, very short on facts. 877-573-7825. Already at the bottom of the program. Time-wise, the bottom of the program, and I certainly would like to hear some more from you. So we got lines ready. We'll do everything we can to get to all of you. I'm Dr. Ray.
Father Benedict Rochelle.
Some great people have shown respect for God. Can I read you a little quotation from Albert Einstein, who many times showed a great respect for religion and was one of the great admirers of Pope Pius XII for his stand against the Holocaust during the Second World War. Einstein wrote, "The fairest thing we can experience is the mysterious. It's the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of all true art and science. A knowledge of the existence of something we can't penetrate, of the manifestations of the profoundest reason and the most radiant beauty, which are only accessible to our minds in the most elementary form. It is this knowledge and this emotion that constitute the truly religious attitude." Oh my, so beautifully said.
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
What sins should Catholics mention in confession? According to the Catechism, we are obliged to confess serious sin at least once a year. A mortal sin must be confessed and sacramental absolution received before taking communion, unless there is a very grave reason for receiving communion and there is no possibility of going to confession. Confessing all the sins a penitent can remember undoubtedly places him or her before the divine mercy for pardon. If, however, a penitent knowingly withholds sins, he places nothing before the divine goodness for remission through the priest. Confessing venial sins is not strictly necessary, but is strongly urged by the Church in order to fight evil tendencies, to strengthen our conscience, and let ourselves be healed by Christ. This is Peggy Stanton, and this has been the Order of Malta's Minute with the Catechism. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for joining me here in the Doctor's Inn. One quick item of business. I think reports are out of Ann Arbor that the 4 tapings next week, October 28th and 29th, Tuesday, Wednesday at Russell Videos, the audience is full and they're waiting lists. I don't have the official numbers. But I will say this, rather sadly, I will say that there is a certain amount of people who don't show. I don't know always why that is. I'm sure things come up. But I hope it's not because they say, well, it sounded pretty good when I signed up, but now I'm kind of tired and I just don't feel like going. That's not good. That is not good because we count on numbers in the audience for various reasons, and we feed you in between the shows. So all of that depends upon reliability. You say you're going to be there, you got to be there. Now, we topped it out at 70 people. As far as I know, all 4 shows have topped out. Now, that may or may not be, so look into it. And, well, here's what you could do. You can come anyway. And, in fact, if it's too crowded and we can't seat you, then if you're kind enough, you just simply say, well, okay, I'm going to go. Or you hang around for the second show. Got a show at 5:30 and 7:15. And likely, you'll get a seat. Because, unfortunately, there are those folks who said they're coming who don't come. So, I can't personally understand that, You want to be on EWTN television? You see your face, your mug right there. We've had a lot of people say, I saw you on TV. Juliet from Georgia. Hi, Juliet. What a pretty name. Pretty name.
Hi, Dr. Ray. I wish I was able to go to one of your shows, but financially and I cannot go.
Well, you're pretty far away there, Juliet. You're in Georgia.
Yeah. I've been to EWTN a couple of times, but that was it.
Well, thank you for the call, dear. So you got a 16-year-old son who's
yes.
Is he getting bad grades?
Well, he's in 10th grade, and the main classes, I think, is biology and, of course, ELA, literature. And for 9th grade, he was in a Catholic school. So he got withdrawn, and now I have, unfortunately and sadly, had to put him in a public school just for now. And I told him, to do his best, especially in those 2 classes. The good thing about the public school is that they provide the assistance, the after school and all that. And I told him to take that advantage and the opportunity to do that. But I was giving him some little advice 2 days ago. And I told him, ask your teachers for help, and, they're there for you. I have emailed them, and they told me the same thing. And you know what he said? He was like, I know I can do that, but I'm lazy, Mom. And I'm like, oh. So I was like, yeah, but don't be negative, because if you keep that in mind that you're lazy, like all the time, and, you're not going to have that effort to do what you need to do.
Juliet, you have told him, you've tried to persuade him why it's important for him to put a little more effort into this. And he tells you, yeah, Mom, I hear you, but I'm not exactly the most motivated guy. And so you're asking me, is there some better way to get through to him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and you know what? I started reading the book that you wrote, The Standing Strong, The Good Discipline Makes. I'm almost halfway there.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is stuff there on school performance. There's a question there on school performance. Look it up. Okay. It's right there. It'll tell you how to deal with these underachievers who have the ability. But let me offer you this.
And she's a pretty smart kid. It's just I'm a single mom, and it's been always him and me, and sometimes a little tough.
Let me make this real quick. I'll make it real quick. Does he have a smartphone?
Okay. No, but he has an iPod. That's all he has. He asked for a phone recently.
Does he need that iPod for school?
Well, he only uses it for music, and he doesn't have internet and anything like that.
Does he listen to music on it?
Yes.
You could say, son, see, here's I think where you're getting tripped up. You think that if you just were more clear, more reasonable, he would agree, and he would say, oh, now I got it, Mom. I see what you're saying. Of course, I'll put more effort into my work. Highly unlikely, Juliet. Not because I know your son, I'm just going by the numbers, that by and large, when kids don't perform up to their ability at school, all the reasoning in the world doesn't move them. Mm. You are going to have to use some leverage. You may have to say, son, your grades have to be at a certain level. Let's say, for example, you want proof of what grade he has in each class on a Friday. He writes down the grade, and he gets the teacher to sign it. And your condition is it's got to be B or A. You said he's got the ability, so therefore A or B. And it ain't that hard to get A's and B's anymore in school because such a grade inflation.
Right.
That means if he doesn't, comes home with a C or a D because he's not turning in the work, that for the next week, he doesn't have that iPod. And he doesn't have the...
I tried that one time.
One time. You hear what you just said there? One time. I tried that one time.
He exploded, and I had to talk to the priest, and...
Well, now you just added a big element, my dear. You added a huge element, which is I tried to discipline him. I tried to put conditions upon him, and he got so mad that I didn't know what to do. Yeah. On one hand, if he just gets mad, well, he just got mad. On the other hand, if he gets mad and he punches a hole in your wall, or he cusses you out, or he takes off, you got to decide what you're going to do about that. Because at this point, as long as he has the ability to say, you cannot hold me accountable, Mother, and if you try, I'll go crazy. If that's where it is, Juliet, then what I would say is you get yourself some good guidance on how to bring this young man under better control. Because if he's telling you, I'm not doing... Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. You can read that book, and it'll tell you how to take control of a situation. But if he's going to get so ugly that you're scared, that you're not sure, my gosh, I've never seen him like this, then at that point, you get some good help from people in your life, or a counselor, or the school people. Or even if you think it's wise, you call the juvenile authorities. So I really don't know how ugly he can get, but you said you tried it once. Well, this is going to be a rule that you have, and it'll be interesting to see his reaction.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
And we need to pray for all our world leaders and all those who are in such danger. See, in a day and age where people are getting further away from God, you get further away from goodness. Only God is good. You remember what our Lord said one day? Why do you call me good? He said. Only God is good. Only God.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
Christ is the answer with Father John Riccardo.
Are you passionate about Jesus? Are you zealous for Jesus? Are you fervent for Jesus? Are we fervent for the gospel? Are we passionate about helping this world come to know him? Is that true? It's not true for most people in the church. Is Jesus my best friend? Is he your best friend? I'm looking around the church. There's a set of guys in here who have great man caves. As I was praying this morning, I felt like the Lord said, hey, when are you going to come to my man cave? Like, you guys think a flat screen TV is really cool. Well, you should see what I got to offer. Because I and I alone, he says, can really give you what it is you're longing for. Whoever it is we're rooting for right now, they're going to lose eventually. Or whatever it is that's occupying our time, one day we're going to realize it really wasn't that important. Why aren't we hanging out with the one who alone can show us what life is really all about? When was the last time you hung out in the Lord's man cave?
Strained or broken relationships are a given in most of our lives. Friends fall away, siblings drift apart, children sever ties with their parents, and despite our best efforts, these painful fissures are difficult to mend. Hi, I'm Dr. Ray. If you want to learn how to communicate better with the difficult people in your life and be a more easygoing, more forgiving person, check out my book, How to Get Along with Almost Everybody. Check it out. And all my other books on the store page at AveMariaRadio.net. That's AveMariaRadio.net. Emotionally peaking, all biorhythms in sync, aligned with Jupiter and Mars, pegging the IQ needle at 134 for brief sentences. Today is Renee Day. We're just taking calls from Renee. Well, actually, we'll take calls from other people too, but the Renees are calling in, and this is Renee from Omaha, Spirit Catholic Radio. Hi, Renee.
Hi. I know, it's not a very common name.
Well, I think you should spell it Raynee. I think that would be a nice touch.
Oh, it actually is spelled a different way, but mine is Ranae.
Oh, how did that happen?
See? The one time my parents were creative.
They wanted to give you a one-of-a-kind name.
I guess so. That's actually... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
All you got to do is just add a Y in there. It wouldn't take much of a change.
Oh, there,
Yeah.
see? Then it would be even better, huh?
Think about it. Okay, to your situation. How'd you have this falling out? What happened all those years ago with your aunt?
So I'm an only child, and I have 4 kids of my own, 2 of whom are in college. And my dad has one sister who she's kind of like saccharin. Very, very, very sweet, but it's not real, if that makes sense. I've always felt like she had some sort of weird competition between my cousin and me. We're very close in age. Which
your cousin is her kid. I take it your cousin is her kid.
Yes, my cousin is hers.
Right.
Yes. But we actually live. She lives about 7 hours away from us. But 3 years ago, my dad was very sick. He was 6 weeks in the ICU, and then about 3 months recovery after that. So being an only child, my mom and I were very busy with that. And I was sending updates to the family, and in fact, would send hers a different way because she didn't receive through the same way that everybody else did, texting-wise. And she sent me a text that was meant for my cousin, saying that she can't stand me. I don't understand what I don't understand what she's going through. She hates stupid people and just wants to smack me.
Wait a minute. You were blindsided with this? In other words, you had no idea she looked at you that way, or as you looked back on it, you could think, there were some signs there that I didn't give much weight to, but now as I total them up.
I always kind of saw it, but she just, so I responded and said, I think you meant to send this to someone else. And
no,
then
of course not me.
And then I called her and to give her an opportunity to kind of straighten that out.
Yeah, not much to straighten out there, dear. Pretty clear.
Right. Well, it was a text that she had meant to send to her own daughter, not
well,
to me.
yeah, but you talking about straightening it out. What's she going to do? She's going to go, well, yeah, I wrote that text, but I didn't mean any of it.
Well, I knew she was frustrated at the time, and though I was sending daily updates with my dad and his condition, how he was doing, that just wasn't quite enough for her. She wanted me to call, and she wanted me to do all of these things. And
so you weren't acting like she liked. You were not acting like she liked. And so it's been years since you've had any contact with her?
It's been 3 years.
3 years.
Because she doesn't live nearby.
No, so no calls, no texts, no hello, no happy birthday, no Merry Christmas, nothing.
Probably a Christmas card, those sort of generic things, but nothing personal. And so, and when I called her and I said, I understand. She said, you just don't understand how I feel and what I'm going through and that I don't know what's going on. And I said, I understand that, but I'm very busy too because I have my own kids and trying to manage things at the hospital and help with things. And
Renee, here's what it comes down to.
All the time.
Here's what it comes down to. You dissed her. You didn't treat her with the kind of respect that she feels she deserves. And because you didn't do that, you were offensive and ugly in your social consideration. And that's probably what set her off. And you got to figure if she's going to react like that and she's not going to look at it like, hey, Renee's kind of dealing with her dad here. The poor woman's got a lot of stuff piling on top of her. I can certainly understand if she's going to handle it a certain way. I can even understand if she's short-sighted about sending me notices. But no, it doesn't sound like she did that. Her attitude was, you mistreated me. So, now she's coming into town.
Now she's coming into town. And, I mean, really, I don't wish her any ill will or anything like that, but I don't want to be duplicitous and go over and act all nice and sweet when I don't mean it. I don't.
All right.
I don't
Hold on a second, my dear. You are falling prey. You are falling prey to psychological misconception number 103, subsection paragraph 3B, which is you are not being an authentic person if you fake it. So what if, whatever limited contact you have with her, you're pleasant, you're nice, and in many respects, you act like none of that ever happened. You just do what you would do to treat someone that really isn't part of your life, but yet you can still be pleasant with them. You can ask about her kid. You can ask about what she's been doing. You can ask about all kinds of stuff. You say little subtle things like, so, have there been other people in your life that you've kind of messed up? No, okay, don't say that one. Okay, leave that one out. But here's the thing. You can be nice to her because I'm going to assume that you're a Christian, and therefore you're going to just treat her pleasantly. She ain't your favorite person. You see her once every 3 years, if that. You're not being disingenuous. Like that word? That's a good word. I've been waiting to use that. Yes. If, in fact, you just are pleasant with her. I think that's a matter of fact, Renee, I'm going to say you're being authentic if you do that. You know why? I'll tell you why. You want to know why?
Yes.
Because you are genuinely acting in a way that you think is the right way to act, even though you don't have the feelings behind it. The feelings don't matter. That has nothing to do with your authenticity. The genuineness is, I'm a Christian, and I'm simply going to treat her pleasantly. I don't have to be ushy-gushy, warm, everything. I'm going to treat her pleasantly, civilly, for the time that I interact with her. And if whatever the reason she throws you a curveball, and she says, well, I've just never gotten over the way you treated me 3 years ago. Okay, if she tries to provoke you, you're giggling, so you have not ruled that out as a possibility. You could simply say, well, I'm just sorry about that. I'm just so sorry that happened. And that's it. And if she continues to try to provoke, then it's at that point you're going to have to duck out. You're going to have to say, Aunt so-and-so, I just wanted to see you and say hi to you and see how you're going. I really didn't want to bring that back up. And here's the thing. If she does that, if she pushes that hard and she won't let it go, then she's telling you, Renee, you really didn't do anything wrong at all, that she's just so sensitive and prickly that unfortunately she's probably going to do that to a lot of other people too. Even me.
Yes.
Even me.
I found out that at that time she called my mom and chewed her out a few times too for not letting her know everything that was going on.
There you go. There you go. It all comes down to you people are just not respecting me the way I demand to be respected. It's really what it is. So if it were me, I would just treat her pleasantly. And here's another reason why. Then you can feel good about yourself. You can say, whatever happened 3 years ago, I attempted to simply leave it into the past. We didn't have to rehash it. I'm not suggesting you do that. That'll get ugly. Just leave it into the past. I'll treat her pleasantly. And then I can be of good conscience. I can say, I did what I had to do. If she rejects it, it's no longer your matter.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ray. I needed somebody to tell me the right thing to do and not just what I wanted to hear. So I appreciate that.
Well, you knew what the right thing to do was, Renee. You knew that. You knew I was just going to nudge you. You could have predicted I was going to say that. That's why you took a risk to call me. He's not going to tell me what I want to hear, but I'll call him anyway. Bless you, dear. Good luck with it, okay?
Thank you.
All right, hon. Bye. This is Dr. Ray. I'll be back.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
In her diary, St. Faustina wrote, "If only I had a spiritual director from the beginning, I would not have wasted so many of God's graces. If even the saints needed spiritual guidance, How much more do we? The nonprofit Revive app lets you meet virtually with certified spiritual companions, scheduling sessions at your convenience, helping you grow closer to Christ. Your first 2 sessions are free. Download the Revive app today. That's REVIV, and then the number 3.
The following program is brought to you in part by MyCatholicWill.com. Surveys show that more than half of Americans do not have a will. At MyCatholicWill.com, it takes as little as 15 minutes to write your will and secure a legacy of faith. MyCatholicWill.com is the exclusive online destination for creating a Catholic will. The process of writing a will is simple and now more accessible than ever. MyCatholicWill.com, a legacy of faith for those you love.
Underwritten in part by the following nonprofit.
Do you feel as though life is flying past you? Are you desperate for a way to find moments of peace and quiet? Lord, Teach Me to Pray, the free Ignatian prayer series, will open your heart to His voice, to the peace you are seeking and the only love that fulfills the human heart, Jesus. God is calling you to true joy, knowing Jesus personally. Lord, Teach Me to Pray is free. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com, click on the red box, order the Lord, Teach Me to Pray series now. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com.
Thanks for joining me here on The Doctors in the last few minutes. Eli from Tulsa, Oklahoma could not stay on the line. His request was, I'm looking for general advice. I like that, general advice. That means I don't have to be too specific and too good on how to deal with a mother-in-law. He says we have a tense relationship. Well, I would have several questions if Eli were still here. One, how often do you see her? Where does this tense relationship come from? Is she opinionated? Did she think that your wife made a big mistake? She could have done so much better in a spouse. Where's your wife on all this? Does your wife realize that her mother doesn't treat you all that easily? But even not knowing any of that, here's general advice. Most of the time, when a relationship with someone is tense, it's not because they're threatening to punch you in the face or they've got a weapon. It's because they say things. That's what much of it is. And to the degree that you get locked into the idea that they shouldn't say those things, that's unfair, that's mean, I don't deserve that, whatever it is in your mind that says, if they say those things, I'm going to be upset. If you do that, you're going to have a tense relationship with them. To the degree that you don't give a whole lot of weight to the kind of stuff they say. You either ignore it, you let it go in one ear and out the other. Dr. A, sometimes people need to be set straight. Well, my guess would be if you tried to set her straight, it would get real ugly. My rough estimate, 98.2653% of people who are chronically difficult to get along with are not going to take correction. They're not about to say, why, thank you. I never looked at it that way. So generous of you. So generous of you to point that out to me. Please let me know in the future if I'm like that, if I say those things. Just ring a bell, flash a light, give me a dirty look, do something to let me know I've overstepped the bounds. And my guess would be you've probably tried in the past to respond to some of the things she said. How did it go? Well, I'm not going to be a doormat. You're not being a doormat. You're actually being a doormat when you let her get to you, because then she controls you and then you are a doormat. But if she can't get to you by stuff she says, if you just kind of don't say anything, you look back at her, you have a blank stare, whatever it might be, then you're not a doormat, because her words have no power. They can't do anything to you. She can be snarky and snotty and snippy and snooty, and I love SNs. SNs are little great dip songs. But that's it. That's all she can do. So I don't know what is the cause of this tense relationship, but my guess would be it's heavily, heavily rooted in words from her. I appreciate it. I gotta run. Thanks, Andrew Kruchek and Eric Dumont and all of you. This co-production of EWTN, Global Catholic Radio Network, and Ave Maria Radio Communications. Thank you so very much. Tomorrow we're going to do a live program. Good Lord permitting. No Look Back Friday tomorrow. Look Ahead Friday. Walk with God.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.